So, I'm a pretty, so far, successful creator on YouTube, as I've reached 11,000 views so far in 3 months, which I'm very pleased with. I did not expect. I expected a lot lower numbers, but I'm happy with it and grateful for every view I get. But I will share how I do things a little bit, where I'm comfortable sharing. One, myself, along with a lot of people, like to multitask when they're cleaning house. Sometimes they need something to listen to, or when they're working on computers and stuff. You can put your little mini player on YouTube and listen to videos and stuff like that. But here's the problem: if it's listed as made for kids, by default, YouTube don't allow that feature. So my way of doing it is I put it as it's not for kids, but the only time I set age restriction on my content is if I'm going to have a strong language or, intense content, like certain gaming videos I play, because I play both violent and non-violent, and I do videos of both types. Therefore, if I have things that I feel kids probably shouldn't see freely, unless of course the parents allow it. I mean, it's one thing. Ultimately, it's parents' discretion, and I respect that. But as a content creator, I'm going to care enough that if I feel it's in the best interest of my viewers to set age restriction for some things, I prefer to do that, and then allow it to be at the discretion on the rest of it for my viewers. If you want your kid to view some of my content with me doing game streams and gaming videos, but I have a lot of my gaming videos that are the violent games. I kind of add explicit commentary that may not be suitable for people if you don't like cursing, or if you don't like so okay, now I will curse, I will say fuck, damn, shit, you name it, but you will not hear me say anything derogatory. And even if I've done rap and some of the singing practice I've done, you ain't gonna hear those words. You'll hear every cuss word you can think of, but you ain't gonna hear the N word or anything derogatory, because I hate that more than cursing. And I also respect the cultures of who views my content. Now, if I sing songs for fun, like I sometimes do, and I is cussing, you ain't gonna hear that particular word or anything derogatory. I usually replace it with bitch or dog, because those aren't so bad. But I'm not African descent, so I don't feel that it is my place for an Indian woman to use that type of language that is supposed to only be allowed in a certain culture. And I don't put anything derogatory regardless, because of my beliefs of, acceptance and inclusion, and I'm anti-prejudice. You'll see me curse every word in the book and some of my gaming and music stuff, if it's, rap or violent video games for commentary for fun. But you will not hear words like that. No. I'll poke fun at Grand Theft Auto. Like, I have a video of Grand Theft Auto. I'm making smart-ass but explicit commentary about cops, but you ain't gonna hear certain words like that. You'll hear me make fun of stuff, but you won't hear me say anything like that about people. And then also, the other thing I do is I will post in my description, even if I don't do it right away, is I will add a content warning CW to let my audience know there is strong language and inappropriate, commentary or something. Or something may not be suitable for general audience. It may trigger some. I'll put that there so people are comfortable when they see, if they look at my description because they want to see what it's about. then they'll see, yeah, this may be disturbing. You watch at your own discretion. And I feel it's my job as a content creator, and should be for anyone doing it, to make sure that their audience can be comfortable and if they can be prepared to read, like if they want to read a description, they can see, this may be, disturbing or something. And I do it for fun, but, some people may not be happy with it. But the thing is, I believe in being responsible and ensuring comfort as much as I can. But ultimately, when it comes to age restrictions and that, it's up to the parents to decide, within their own home. Because, every parent does. I'm just going to plug my phone charger, get unplugged here. Hold on. It's every parent's, opinion and choice. Every parent and household has what they allow, what they don't. Now, I leave it up to them to decide ultimately if kids can view this or that. YouTube is a good place to learn and everything, but the problem is we can't, us creators, and same with YouTube's developers and whoever, runs the show at YouTube. None of us can really, we can't make it 100% kid friendly, but we try. We try to ensure, do things like how I do with my content, age restrictions on certain things, and how we do stuff. We try to make it as inclusive and, appropriate where we can, but we also want it to be where, some mature content is okay within YouTube's community guidelines and, what they allow for what their creators can do, but we also know that we can't make it completely safe. And, no social media channel, which YouTube does count as social media, is going to be safe, and we do our best on our end, but we can't prevent everything. And, as a parent, you have to have that as up to your discretion what you allow, and I respect that either way. If you allow the content of mine to be seen, fine. If not, that's okay too. It's your choice. I mean, I just put it there and hope people like it, which a lot of people do. But I also look at it as the parents are in charge. If they choose to, if they're ones that would feel comfortable that within their, beliefs or culture or whatever they feel, what's appropriate, what's not, that's parental. It's a parental thing. It's your choice if you, want to, allow this or that to be viewed. But some parents do ban YouTube entirely because of how hard it can be to manage. But one thing I would suggest is allowing your kid to share with what they view or watch or play on screens, so they can have it. And also builds on a relationship, but also let them be a safe place. But the other thing you have is not every user or creator is going to be, kind and friendly like me. I mean, I'm not going to treat others like crap, in comments or, call them out on YouTube, like shame them or anything. I know some will do that to some, but you won't see that with me. Excuse me. I should be asleep, but I like to get my evening thoughts out on here sometimes. Hold on. Okay, anyways, um, I'm trying to remember, where did I leave off? Give me a moment here. The thing is, it has to be up to the parents' decision what's allowed, what isn't. I mean, as a parent, if your kids, you feel your kid would be safer with, monitoring, but some, permission and stuff, it's one thing. It's your choice as, a parent, and I respect that. I'm a big believer in respecting that. But I also feel that parents should be a child's safe place if something makes them uncomfortable. Also, not everybody's going to be kind online, because being behind the keyboard, they usually won't say what they would say in person or face to face, or even in a phone call necessarily, that they would do behind a keyboard, or whether it's on a screen or an actual computer, or even a typewriter, that could be done that way, But the thing is, people can be such jerks behind a keyboard, unfortunately. But the thing is, you can't shelter your kids forever, And they have to have some experience, and the only way they're going to learn is to, practice those skills and stuff. But I also believe that if content goes against your religion or your, beliefs or whatever, cultural, whatever kind of views you have, if you want your kid to respect that, then of course set the guidelines and rules of what they can and can't do if you have to. Do what you feel you must as a parent, but if you are going to allow them to use YouTube, still let them have fun within reason. You know what I mean? Therefore, that's why I do I set certain things with my content creation, so I can try to make it as accessible and inclusive and enjoyable for everybody. Because I do the best with what I can on my end. And, I try to make everybody as comfortable as possible that views my channel, because I look at my social media as my own home. And you can welcome to visit as long as you respect me. That's my only really rule I have, is respect. But my social media is the digital version of my house. And you are welcome to view it. Anything I have publicly here. As if you were coming to my house to look at stuff, that's how I view it. And I want it to be just as if I would invite guests into my home. I had people over for them to be comfortable, as long as they're, respectful and stuff and respect boundaries. It's the same thing with my social media. I want you to be comfortable if you want to interact with my posts and stuff. Feel free to, but just be respectful. I try to keep it as, comfortable as I can, but some stuff I like to have fun being a little bit naughty, and I see nothing wrong with that within reason. And as long as, guidelines are followed with YouTube's policies and stuff, nothing wrong with that. But these are why I do these, content creation, with the certain controls I do. Because I want you to be safe. I want all my viewers to be safe and comfortable, and it to be inclusive. So, anyways, I'm gonna try to see if I can get some sleep before I pass out on camera, because I'm ready to fall asleep. I know I said that in my last video, but I really feel it right now, and I still have to get ready for bed. So anyways, take care.